Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream on Twitch weekdays from 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, 10 AM in Australia or 1 AM in the UK. Monero, thank you very much for the cheer, I do appreciate it. I'm just keeping an eye on everything guys because I'm using a new internet service at the moment for streaming. So I'm just going to be a little distracted for today's stream because it's the first time I've started streaming with this new internet provider. I'm just keeping an eye on OBS and everything else. So you may notice that I'm streaming now at about 3,000 kilobytes per second. So the stream quality should be better providing the internet service provider stays up. So I'm actually using two internet connections now. I have an ADSL2 connection and another provider that I'm streaming with. So I am just going to keep an eye on everything. So again, apologies if I seem a bit distracted today while we're working because I just want to keep an eye on my OBS over here. So I'm just going to pause this here. I have my stream open. I just want to make sure it doesn't distract me. We are working on an Art Deco building, interior and exterior, that we're creating in the Unreal Engine 4.16.1. We're going to continue working on that today. So, this is the Art Deco building we're working on from 3D Studio Max. Let's jump into Unreal. And this is our Unreal level. This is the entryway. When we come through the main gate here, we'll go up this path until we get to our building. Which is over here. Now again, all of these plants are animated. I have animation turned off at the moment just because OBS doesn't like it. But when we do the cinematic, we will have all of our plants moving in the wind. Alright, so last week we were working on the gardens here, putting plants in our garden. So we're going to continue working on that today. So again, all of our plants here will be moving. It's just, I have that switched off at the moment, so yes, we were working on our garden. We got this front garden and side garden done last week. So we're going to continue our way around the building, I think, and finish off our garden beds here. So let's jump into our plants, which is in our foliage folder. And I think for something a bit different here, instead of azaleas in these little gardens at the side near these glass doors, we might put some rose bushes. So I have this dog rose bush bunch here. We'll pull that in and let's scale it up. Let's just get into position here where we can place them properly. And I'm going to stick them through the metal of the fence here a little bit. It just makes it look a bit more interesting. Let's make sure it's actually on the ground, and it's not. So I'll pull it down a bit. Alright, I think I'll do a duplicate of that again. And we might make this one just a little bit bigger, just to give it a bit of variation. And maybe we'll do one more. Again, we'll take the smaller one though from the front and move it to the back. And one more around the side, I think. Okay, it should be good. So we've got our little bunch of roses here in the corner. Let's see what else we can add to the garden. Remember guys, if you've got any questions or anything you're not sure about, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If you just want to pop in and say hello, that's always welcome. If you just want to watch, that's completely fine. Alright, we have our azaleas. We might pull one of those in. Yeah, I think an azalea bush against the back wall here could look quite nice. They're white roses, so let's take one of the pink azaleas. Again, we're going to scale it up a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. And move it over into the corner. So maybe just in there. In fact, I may just scale it up just a tiny bit more. There we go. All right. So we've got our azalea bush, our rose bushes, maybe something with a bit of height just up here in the back corner. So what do we have in our plants that could be nice for a bit of height? Let's just jump around to the front here and look at what we've got going in our front garden bed. We've got these decorative topiary trees, but I really want to keep them for either side of the doorways at the front and the side here. We could use them. We could even use one of these conifers. Let's go back around again and have a look. I'm thinking maybe a palm tree though might be okay just up there. So let's see, we've got two different palm trees we can work with. Let's again pull this one in. Move it back, move it down. And back a little bit more. Maybe over a little bit. Again, that just helps to give me, just to fill out that section over in this corner here and make it look a bit fuller. All right. Okay, so what else can we place in our garden? I want to avoid placing too much in front of the doorway here. I mean, I do want plants in front of the door, but not right up back to the door, I don't think. So we may grab a bunch of our rose bushes and move them down to the other end though. So we'll take these three and duplicate them. I'm going to duplicate that grouping again and rotate it around. I'm just making sure I'm trying to avoid getting the plants actually going through any part of the rock, because that will look a bit odd. Alright. Now, what else can we add in here? Maybe another azalea bush in the foreground, I think. So let's duplicate this pink one again. And pull it forward. And maybe just something over in this corner, just down here. Let's just pull back here and have a bit of a look. What can we place in that corner? Let's see one of these dead trees. Now, last week I said I want to avoid putting any dead trees in the foreground here. But at the side of the building, I think it may be okay. So let's just grab one of these and have a look. Scale it back. It looks like it's a bit big. Yeah, I want to avoid covering up the doorway like that though. We'll rotate it around to see if we can get it in any direction where it won't do that so much. Yeah, no, I really don't like those trees, not here. We're using these trees in that main entryway in the pathway to sort of like give it a coned coverage for over the path. That's the reason I created these trees, but I don't think they're really suitable for these gardens, so we'll find something else. Let's see what one of these European birch trees is like. Doesn't cover the doorway, but I think it may be going into the building, which is not good. We don't want that. Again, these trees weren't really, I didn't design them in Speed Tree to actually go this close to the building. What I'd have to do is remove the branches on that back section if I wanted to keep this sort of tree here. I don't think we can actually get it into a rotation where it's actually not going to enter the building. Let's pull it out until it doesn't enter the building. I'll see how far out that pushes the tree. Yeah. I guess we can try scaling it down and see if we can get it in there that way. No, even that is still going to enter the building. Let's try rotating it, see if we can get it into any rotation where it won't actually intersect the building. That may be okay. Just going to deselect it for a minute so we can have a look at it properly without that yellow border happening around the outside edge. And we still have a bit of a gap there for our doorway, which is good. It's not intersecting the fence line that I can see. I do want to move this azalea bush though, I think. I've got to move it in so it doesn't go through the brickwork there. And I'm going to move it back a little bit as well. I think our birch tree might work there. Yeah, no, I think that'll be okay. Alright, so the only other thing I'm looking at here is I want to cover up that little corner there a bit. And I think the easiest way to do that will be just for us to take another one of these azalea bushes. And we'll push it back. Again, I'm just going to make sure that I'm not actually intersecting my walls here, and that looks fine. Looks like it may be coming through the door just a little bit though, so it may pull it forward just a bit more. Actually, well, I think what I'll do is I'll rotate it. Maybe like... That should be alright. Okay, let's deselect everything and have a look. And again, I think I'm going to make this palm tree just a little bit bigger. Alright. Okay. Let's jump around to the other side of the building. Yeah, I'm just going to do just a bit of a look at our building here to get an idea of how I want to do the other side of this garden bed. We have another one of these white birches, these leafless white birch trees. And again, to keep balance in the image, I think it may be a good idea for me to use one of them on the other side as well, but I don't want to use the exact same tree. We could. It's on either side of the building. A player or the camera is never going to see both trees at the same time. Generally not anyway. So we could duplicate the tree, rotate it to make it look a bit different, but we do have one other birch tree that we may be able to pull in and use it. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to duplicate this grouping of some rose bushes and things, because we can reuse those without it being noticed, because they're rose bushes. I'll take one of the azaleas. Actually, I'll take a couple of the azaleas as well. Let's duplicate that. Just going to pull back here so I can move my plants over. Let's rotate them around about 180 degrees. Again, though, I want to make sure I avoid going through the actual brickwork. And I got confused here. I had doors on that side, so these actually have to be moved over to the other side. So this side is where we want them. Looks like one of my bushes here. I'm going to move that in just a moment. We'll position these ones first. Okay, let's move this one here in the corner that's butting into the wall of the building. We'll rotate this one.
Are you ready?
Again, just making sure it's not actually going inside the building itself. Alright, let's pull in the other European birch tree here. Let's see if we can rotate this one around to stop it from intersecting the building. Maybe if we just scale it back a little bit. We've got a little bit intersecting there. So again, I'm just going to see if there's a way I can position this tree where we won't get anything going actually inside the building. We've only got that tiny little leaf, branch there sticking through, so. Going to deselect it for a moment. All right. So we don't have any branches actually in the building. I'm just looking at this branch here that sits, it's not actually intersecting our fence, so that's fine. I just don't know that I like the way it hits the ground there like that. I'm just going to pull around here from a few different angles just to look at the tree. I just don't think there isn't another angle I could really rotate that tree where it's not going to get branches sticking into the wall. That'd be the most obvious way for me to move where that branch is so it's not so noticeable, but yeah, because of the shape of the tree, I don't really think we can actually rotate it in any other direction where we're not going to have a problem. So our options are not use this tree, or for me just to live with the fact that we have a branch here that looks like it's fallen down a bit. Which on its own, it's not wrong. I mean, that can happen. Again, I just want to make sure that the doorway is not being occluded by the tree itself. Or in other words, that if people open the door, they could open the door. And it's not, so that's fine. We'll leave it. If we don't like it, once we're finished doing the other garden beds, we can always come back and remove it and change it. But we do want, again, another palm tree in this corner. Just to keep it consistent with the other side. We can push that back because we've got our thick brick walls. We shouldn't have a problem with it coming through the wall. Nope. But we will scale it up just a little bit. Pull it in. And I think I just want another couple of azalea bushes just down in this corner here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to duplicate one of them. We'll pull it down. And I'll do one more duplication. And we'll just rotate it around a little bit so it's not so noticeable that we're using the same bush. Maybe like that. Again, I have to make sure we don't have it intersecting our actual fence here, so I'm just going to pull it up. That should be good. We don't want to fill these side gardens up very much. They're tiny gardens. They're meant to actually allow people to open the door and walk into them, so we don't want them completely full of plants. Like we did the front. The front can be full and the back will be full, but not these side gardens. Alright, so just a reminder again guys, if you're regulars to my channel, if you do have any questions, please feel free to pop in. Even if you're not a regular, you can pop in and ask me a question. But I just want to again say that I'm streaming with a different internet provider, so I'm streaming at a higher bitrate. If you're a regular and you're used to the lower bitrate I was streaming at, because I'm an affiliate, you have transcoding options, so if you're having a problem viewing the stream at the higher bitrate, then you can knock it back. Just a reminder for you guys. Alright. I think we just need a couple of plants down in this corner here in our front garden. And I'm going to take one of these white azalea bushes, I think. White or pink? Am I going colorblind? It may be pink. I'm just going to move it down here to fill up this empty corner in the bottom of the garden. Again, I've got to make sure I avoid going through my stonework here. That should be okay. Again though, all of these plants will actually be moving in the wind. I just have a wind animation turned off at the moment. Alright, so we have our two side gardens. We've done our front garden. Again, I'm just looking at this garden here to make sure I like the layout of everything. Alright. Let's move to the back garden now. Now again, we want to try and keep some consistency in all of our models, so all of our garden beds. So I'm going to start, I think, by putting 2 palm trees again either side of the main window. And we have 2 different varieties. They're exactly the same palm leaf, but just a different shape on either of them, each one, to make them look a bit more unique. And we're going to be using these inside of the building in pots as well. Move you down a bit. I'm going to pop in here to make sure they're not actually going into our building. And we'll scale this one up a little bit more. Alright. I don't like the way it's intersecting that column there. So I think what I'm going to do is do a rotation. We'll move it out a little bit. And I think I'll move it over just a little bit as well. Same with this one. I want them more in front of the window, but not completely covering the window. Alright. I'm just going to pause this over here. What else can we place in our garden? Again, I want, we have a tree in this corner at the front. I don't want to really place another tree there. I think we'll go with the topiary, that ornamental topiary we're using at the front. Let's have a look. This one here. I'm going to duplicate this one just so the size stays consistent.
Tell me where I belong. I've been searching all night. Walking these streets, it's a maze at midnight.
Move it over here.
Yet those days have gone by. I gave you a chance to treat me right. I'm a blank canvas you can paint. Draw yourself a future with me.
Let's duplicate it for the other side so we've got balance on either side of our doorway.
Oh, it's a miracle life. It's a miracle day.
We need something in this corner. Just not sure what. Again, let's have a look through our trees here. I'm going to pull one out and have a look at what this is. Some of these trees are lower poly and they were created actually for the forest here in the background. Not really as a hero object in a garden like this, simply because they are a little bit too low poly. So that one's not really good.
You say it's all my fault.
What else? What else?
All those memories haunting our fall. A single life has come at the right time.
I do like these maple trees, red maples, but they're really a large tree and they're going to be too large to go next to our building here.
It's a mystery what awaits. Oh, it's a miracle life. It's a miracle day.
Let's have a look at these ones. Again, these are really big trees. This is a hero tree, or in other words, a higher poly tree.
It's a miracle life. It's a miracle day.
I think it may be a bit too big. Let's see if we can scale it in and fit it into this little section here in the garden. We may not be able to though. I can try rotating it. I want to make sure angle snap is turned off. Pull it down a bit. I'm going to go into my building and see if it's actually going to be coming through our walls. It does look like it may be intersecting our wall a little bit just here, so it's not much though. I may be able to pull it out just enough that that doesn't happen. Let's have a look down the bottom. I think it may be okay. We're not getting an intersection happening through our building. We may be okay. So we do have two trees in either end of this garden. These are different trees though. They're not the same tree. They're the same type of, what are we, maple tree, but not the exact same tree. Different shapes.